Guest actors have banged around for ever since they came in, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. We first had a situation in which a guest actor would have only one appearance. Okay, you're a guest actor and then you're gone. So it would be a situation like, for example, on Law and Order, where you would have a particular crime this week and you would have the perpetrator of the crime who would be a guest actor who would come in. That's basically what it was set up to accommodate, because we did not want to have these celebrity guest actors come in. I remember one Law and Order where Carol Burnett came in, played totally against character. She was some sort of pathological homicidal maniac, and it was kind of like a situation in which she's going to be sucking the air out of the supporting actor category. And what we need to do is to protect the supporting actor category by moving the people who come in, these high-profile, they weren't cameos, but they were high-profile people who would come in on a one-off, from effectively raking in, because we had seen that out of the, back then when we had 5 nominations in a category, maybe 3 of them would be one only guests coming in, and they would be supports, and they would be just absolutely, taking over in these categories. So the idea was, let's move them out into their own category, which would be appropriate because they shouldn't be competing with supports, and have them as just this one-off. Well, then it was, maybe 3. Maybe they were in a storyline in which they came back 2 or 3 weeks in a row, or maybe 2 weeks in a row. So maybe we would move it to 2 to accommodate that. And then the latest iteration of it is that you could not be in 50% of the episodes that were eligible in this particular year. We had that horrible situation a couple of years ago with Peter McNichol on Veep. He came in as a guest actor, and let's say there were 10 shows, and he said, I was in 4. And so we said, okay, that's less than 50%. Let's go ahead and get you in to guest actor. So we get him into guest actor. He gets a nomination. And then, as is often the case, one of our friends from the press said, well, wait a minute, he was in a 5th episode. We said, was he? And they said, yes, he was. Well, give us the episode, we'll take a look at it. Okay, it's this episode X. So we take a look at episode X. So here we are having this scene we're discussing, and there's a TV monitor over my shoulder, and Peter Nichols is giving an interview or whatever he was doing it. That's an appearance in that particular show. And so Peter McNichol lost his nomination because it was a technical violation. Whether or not that was the right thing to do or not, I'll leave for smarter people. But in terms of a rigorous and unflinching reading of the rule, there we have it. So now flash forward to 2019 and this ever problematic situation of a guest to a variation on it, and that is the supporting player in long form. The supporting player, this is so-called Ellen Barkin rule, where she was a supporting player in a movie of the week or a miniseries or whatever it was, and it was a less than 5% of the total running time appearance. And there was complaint. It was a cameo. Well, it was more than a cameo, yeah, but it really wasn't, And so that went back and forth, and then we said, okay, we need to see at least 5% of screen time in order to qualify for that particular support role. So we go through and we look at everything, and we think that we're okay. We release our nominations. And then someone comes forward and says, I actually timed these things in an editorial bay, and I found that 2 of your people who were nominees did not hit your 5% rule. So we went back and we looked at it, and what we found was a misreading of what we considered to be an on-screen performance. So if I'm having a conversation with you, and it's a cinematography style shoot, So the camera's over my shoulder, and you say something to me, and then the camera's over your shoulder, and I say something to you. Well, the time that you're saying something to me, we would count as part of the contextual on-screen appearance, because acting is playing off one another. Unless you're in a Samuel Beckett monologue, it's a situation in which you are there, because what you say to me is dependent upon how I react to you. So if you start in saying something to me and I say, "Oh," something like that, then you're going to react to it, and I'm going to be part of your scene. So we had to clarify that, even though there might be a cutaway, there was some, this was in the Central Park 5 show, that you would have me and I'm sitting in the jury room and, oh my goodness, did he really say that? Okay, that was a 3-second shot. That would count. But then when I'm in a room with a meeting of the lawyers and we're talking about things, and I might not be on all the time, but people are reacting to what I'm saying, and then it comes back, and then I'm reacting to what they're saying, that we would count that in. So it was an ambiguity about contextual on screen, and I think that we will be more specific to lay that out. We thought that was kind of acting 101, and everybody understood that, but